There's a famous Midrash. It's in the Yalkut Shimoni, and it's been quoted a number of times, where it says in the Yalkut Shimoni that at the end of time it says, Bishana Shayovoi HaMashiach, in the year that the Mashiach will arrive, Persia will be Megawed Umas, will agitate Esau and the nations of the world, and so on. And Klal Yisrael, the Jews will be very much afraid, and so on. I'm not going to go into the whole Midrash there. At that point, it says, Yotza Baskol, a voice from heaven comes out and says, why are you afraid? Do not be afraid. I'm doing this for you. Hinei bo sha'as kulaschem. This is the hour of your redemption. What the Yalkut Shimoni is saying is something unbelievable. That the Mashiach will not arrive until something happens first, which is the sign that he's about to appear. What's that? That Persia will threaten the world, and so on and so forth. Now, if you had told me 20 years ago that Iran, which is Persia, can threaten the world, I would have laughed at you. What? Persia is a third world country. What are they going to do anything? It's a joke. But suddenly, the Khomeini happens, there's a revolution, there's now a Muslim state, and you know what, there's oil, and they're working on a nuclear bomb. Wow. Suddenly, Persia or Iran is at the center of the news. It's shocking. How does a third world nation suddenly become the center and so on, okay? Now, the Israelis think that what? Well, we're in charge, we'll take care of it. They're not taking care of any, you don't understand why this is. You see, for example, and you don't understand, okay, that Midrash is the center of the universe. It's the center of world history. Why? Because you think that's some kind of an isolated incident, what? That Persia or Iran wants to destroy the Jews. It's isolated. It's a kiddush from the Shemayim. That is an accusation against the Jews. That's why Persia comes up in this kind of thing. There's something we're doing which is very bad. Suddenly they get the bright idea to try and annihilate Jews by a nuclear war. Now you say, okay, don't worry about that. It's not that simple. You see, why? Because you can see the hand of God in this. You see, why? Why do you see the hand of God? Ahmadinejad comes to the United Nations and he announces to the United Nations as a member of the United Nations, I'm going to annihilate another member of the United Nations. And nobody does the thing. That's not normal. I mean, in this world which is legal and so on and so forth, you can't get up and say, I'm going to kill this guy, and everyone goes, Yashikoyach. You can't do that. You may want to do that, but that's not the way it operates. You at least you have to look good. You have to look right. You have to look legal. You have to look moral. Here's a guy that gets up and announces to the world exactly what he wants to do. And they listen to him. They give him a seminar in Columbia University. The Machshav, whatever the story is, it's unbelievable. It's abnormal. It's an abnormal behavior because there's not even a pretense of morality. And you know when that happens? When God says, I want you to see that I'm doing this. There's not even a pretense of logic. The whole thing is nuts. And that means God says, I'm doing it. Because it's nuts. How do you know I'm doing it? I'm not even hiding. Most times the Banisham does something and he hides it. It looks a little normal. There's like two countries go to war. They have a good reason to go to war. Mazel tov. You know, whenever I see a civil war, I always say to the two people, like in Egypt, there's a civil war over there between the Brotherhood and the Shiites and so on. I give them a bracha. They should both be matzliach. I'm a very kind person. But the bottom line is that's fundamentally what it is. So he does that because the Banishim is simply saying this. It's crazy. And that's how you know I'm doing it. Because normal people don't act this way. I'm twisting the mind of the whole United Nations. Why? Because of that Midrash. That Midrash. Why? Because the Moshiach is imminent. That's why. Now, something else happened incredible 4 years ago. What? You had a man who became elected as the President of the United States. You have to understand something. This guy has no experience fundamentally. He was a first-term senator, okay? Before that, what? He was a community organizer. He has no experience about anything, period, and so on. And all his friends, okay, were all what? They were all rebellion. They were the weathermen. They were part of terrorist groups in America. This guy couldn't get a job with the FBI because he couldn't make clearance. But he got the job as the President of the United States. How does he do that? Because the Banishim is saying, I will make him. Because this man will not do a thing to Iran. He will enable Iran. For the next 4 years that he's president, he's going to simply say, let's negotiate, let's talk, let's negotiate, let's talk. That's it. That's all he's done. While he's talking and so on, they're building a nuclear weapon. They're already there. You don't understand. Many people say they have crossed the red line. That means that they already have enough uranium that they can quickly go nuclear. That's what's going on. There's a red line that they've just about passed, and nobody has done a thing. The United Nations, America, nobody has done a thing. Why? So the Rabbi Shimon said, because that's the center of the universe. You know, in a basketball game, the most important thing you want to know is, where's the ball? Where's the basketball? That's the key. Okay? The basketball is the threat that Iran wants to annihilate the Jews. Why? Because that must happen before the Moshiach comes. Just like the Jews have to go into Persia, okay, before they have a Geula, which is right to go back for the second temple. In the end of time, Persia has to reappear. The story of Purim has to happen again. You see it? Reappear and again threaten. Why? Because when the Moshiach is about to arrive, or the Geula is about to happen, that's when Persia rises. It's not a coincidence. It's not. It's the story of Purim coming all over again.